from the future. No, seriously, in order to talk about the real number system, we kind of have to go back in time. All right, so we're going to take a little trip. We're going to picture ourselves back in kindergarten, right? You're sitting there, you're excited about school, you don't hate your math teacher yet, right? And you're thinking about, all right, let's learn how to count. So you started with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So in the real number system, that's called your natural numbers. All right, so what I want you to do is take out your Frayer model worksheet that looks like this, where it says definition and facts and examples and non-examples. And we're going to go ahead and fill in some notes on those. You're going to need about 5 of them. All right, so you're going to start with the natural numbers in the middle. The natural numbers are any counting number. They're the first numbers you learned back in kindergarten. All right, it's the smallest set of numbers. All right, and it includes 1, 2, 3, and so on to infinity. The non-examples are -7, 1/2 because it's a fraction, pi, all right, 0.62, repeating, any fractions, decimals, percents, they're going to fall outside of this category. Now, then you moved on to maybe 2nd or 3rd grade and you added the number 0 to this group, okay? And then when you add the number 0 to that group of numbers, okay, no longer do you call them the natural numbers, you call them the whole numbers. So on your second one, you need to say whole numbers, all right? And really that's the only difference. It's any counting number or 0. Okay? And it's no longer the smallest set of numbers. Okay, so in your new one, you're going to say that this does not include fractions or decimals. Okay? Now, so you're sitting in 3rd grade and you're thinking, wow, school is still pretty great. And then you get to 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, and you start to say, oh, math class gets really hard. I'm actually having trouble. And that's because we start introducing new things like negative numbers. Oh, negative numbers, right? So when you add the negative numbers to that list, it all of a sudden is called something new, and it's called integers. All right? So your integers are your whole numbers and their opposites. So you've got -3, -2, -1, 0, and then +1, 2, 3, so on into infinity, right? It can be positive or negative, all right? But it is not a fraction. It is not pi. It is not the square root of 2, okay? Or negative square root of 2. And just when you thought it couldn't get any harder, you move to 7th grade and you take algebra and you have to be introduced to negative fractions and positive fractions. Well, those, when you add those in, it's called the rational numbers, okay? So your rational numbers are all your negative numbers, your 0, your positive numbers, and then all those fractions, decimals, percents. It's a number that can be written as a quotient of 2 integers. All right? They can be written as a fraction or a ratio. All right? The word ratio is in rational. So anything that can be written as a ratio is rational. All right? And of course your non-examples are anything that is not a ratio or fraction. Pi, square root of 8, square root of 11. Why, you might say, are those not rational numbers? It's because if you were to write the decimal forms of these, there's no pattern in the decimal places and there's no repeats. Okay, so you can't write them as a ratio because the decimal places go on forever. All right. So from rational which includes all those numbers that you've learned that you can put on a number line somewhere, you go to the irrational. And unfortunately, we got to step out of math class and go to language arts. Okay, and we got to underline the word, the two letters in front, ear. And if you remember, ear in language arts means not. Okay, so these are not rational, which means it's anything that's not in the rational category has to go in the irrational category. It's a number that cannot be written as a quotient of two integers. It cannot be written as fractions or ratios. Your examples are the negative 11, or the square root of 11, or the square root of 7, or pi. All right? Your non-examples are 1, 2, 3, anything that was rational. Okay, so go ahead and fill those in. If you needed to, you can go ahead and rewind and write down anything that you missed if I was talking too fast. Okay? When you're all finished, go ahead and take those little squares, cut them out, all right, and you're going to glue them into your interactive notebook on the next page for the real number system. All right, you can fold them down like this and turn them into a nice little flip book. And if you don't see how that's done, then you can wait until class and I'll go ahead and show you how to do that. All right, now to take all that information, I want you to try and then organize your thoughts over here in this nice little graphic organizer. Obviously, the rational numbers are all over here, and the irrational numbers are all over here. So you want to start with your smallest set and work your way out, adding the numbers to the system. And if you thought that this was really, really tough, don't worry about it. You can always go back and watch the video again or ask me questions next time in class. All right, so I'll see you then, and hopefully you guys are not stressing out about math.